Okay, welcome everybody. So, I'll be completely honest. I picked up this book just because a lot of people were ranting and raving about how good this book was. And they were saying, oh my gosh, this is a great book. This is excellent for beginners. And granted, I was a bit skeptical at first for several reasons, not only because a car again. And the reason I was skeptical mostly had to do with the fact I think this is the author's first book, correct me if I'm wrong, but I certainly didn't hear of this author before then, and well, let's just hop into it. Alright, so as much as I don't harp on anyone for believing in psychic abilities, and I to an extent think the claws are like legitimate, for those of you who know what that is, like I'm not opposed to the concept of like psychic powers. I just in pop culture especially, psychic tends to be like this term used for kind of people with this extraordinary power, and I think because of that programming that I have in mundane life, I kind of picked this book up open-minded but skeptical because of the fact this author claims to be in the psychic culture, I guess, like the people who focus on psychic abilities as a group. And that's kind of what I'm coming in this with, kind of like a skepticism, but hearing good things about it. And that being said, I think the people who say this is a good book has got it right. And I don't mean that as in this book is like the end-all be-all, or the only beginner book that you ever need for metaphysical stuff in general. I do think this book offers a solid foundation, however, to Western esoteric concepts, especially. So I honestly, as much as the writing is a little simplistic for my taste, I also think that works in the book's favor, especially books that are catered more towards beginners or that are more friendly towards a beginner audience. And I quite enjoyed that the author uses exercises. I think for a beginner-oriented or even your absolute first book of this nature, that should be essential. Like, if there is no beginner book with exercises, unless you're recommending like a religious text as a beginner text for people who are interested in that sort of thing, I think that puts people at a disadvantage right away. So based on that alone, and the fact that he speaks with authority on multiple topics, especially like energy work in non-dogmatic ways, this is a great book. And as you probably heard as I talked, I didn't see any like shortcomings, especially for what it's trying to do. The only critique I would really have is like some people might be put off with the psychic side, but not so much the witchcraft side, and then the witchcraft side, but not so much the psychic side. I think that people who are going to have a bias against that, this book will not be for them. And it's quite a shame, because even me, who doesn't kind of like that discussion around the whole psychic abilities things online, approached this with an open mind and kind of started reconsidering some of that a bit. Not just because I'm skeptical of psychics, being a person who approached this kind of esoteric stuff first through chaos magic, I am naturally pretty skeptical, but I don't know. That's kind of my off the cuff how I had a gut reaction to this book. So, while not a bad book, I feel like the title could mislead some people into thinking this incredible work is not for them, or they can't get anything out of it. I honestly think this book is useful for both beginners and intermediates. It's not a book that verbalizes things the way I do per se, but I found a lot of the concepts in it to be things that other books geared toward beginners said to focus on. Like even those books that are considered like kind of mass market, grab them when you can, like most of them say, oh, focus on your clairs, focus on practicing regularly, focus on energy work, and I haven't seen a book like this, however, that explicitly tells you all the minutia of it, and done so in a way where it's not basically just technobabble. So because of that, I'm going to consider this one of the most approachable books for beginners for that reason. And that's the primary audience I would recommend it to. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. If you like what you see on the channel, feel free to like and subscribe. I try to post a new video every other Saturday. I've been doing a lot of chaos magic stuff. I might get into more things like gradually, but yeah, book reviews and chaos magic mostly. And I'll see you around.